もまだそばにいる君に心こもった気持ちギフトで送りたい Make a wish for always here whatever happens you be the one to always say for me たとえ何かがあっても変わらぬ熱意ありがたいのは皆の付き合い雨の日でも晴れる日でもいい未来の毎日すべてを君と過ごしたい雨の日でも晴れる日でもいい未来の毎日すべてを君と過ごしたい
the grip, and this is also, it kind of gets into the generational issue that I've been talking about. The grip that say the foreign lobbyists, the military industrial complex, the big pharma industrial complex, the grip that they've had over American politics and policy is, I think, in many ways coming to an end. I do believe that. And I think what's happening now is, and this isn't maybe, I'm not even saying this is necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. This is what I see going on. This is my observation. Probably a bad thing because it's not we the people getting in charge. But what I see happening is kind of that old guard that's been controlling Washington, D.C. for our entire lives. It's all about to be handed over to the tech bros. That's what I see going on. The tech bros are about to take over Washington, D.C. politics. For better or worse, whatever, have the debate. This is just where I see it going. So whether it's Zuckerberg or Musk or Palantir, I mean, you name it, this is the future. And Trump, as a business mind guy, he just sees where it's all going, and he says, well, we can try to get ahead of the curve here, and we can make all the different elements that go into AI and processing and semiconductors and everything else that is going to be built in the next 10, 20 years, and we can become that hub, and we can bring that business here and bring those jobs here, and it'll be good for the American economy. But also, we're going into the spy state. I mean, we're already in the surveillance state, but once quantum computing meets AI and then gets rolled out in a large way, which you're probably 5-10 years away from, it'll be full surveillance state. We'll see what we can do about keeping out of a social credit score that will really cripple your freedoms and your lifestyle. But that's clearly where it's all going. It's all going there. Again, for better or worse, whatever. I'm just telling you, that's what I see happening. Is the influence is shifting from the old guard to the new guard, which is all the tech bros. It's all the new burgeoning tech, smart tech, AI, self-driving cars, you name it. That's where everything's going. So that's kind of the larger view as I see it. I don't know if it's even, I don't know if you can stop it. I don't know. I mean, you could say you'd be good for the country, except you'll just get spied on 24/7. But it'll be good for the economy, I suppose. But that's where I see it going, Andres. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Jalbire in Houston. Am I getting that right? Jalbire? Joe Bear. Oh, Joe Bear, go ahead.
I'm calling because I kind of disagree with your take on the Big Beautiful Bill. I kind of feel like you, for the last 2 weeks, you've just been really hammering Trump really hard and harshly. And I kind of want you to take a chill pill And I kind of want you to revise how you go about it. And what I mean by that is maybe instead of being so, because I feel your frustration, but I want you to take your frustration and I want you to turn it into action because you and everybody else at InfoWars that are hosts, y'all all have like an enormous platform. And instead of getting frustrated about the bill, you start talking about the people in Congress that are the scumbags, and then point those people out. Let's find candidates find candidates. Let's help them raise money, and let's get rid of these scumbags. Because at the end of the day, it really relies on. We can be mad. We can be mad about how things are going on in Congress right now. But if we're not, it's up to us to actually do the action because Trump, he can only do so much, as we've already seen. It's the scum in Congress that we have yet
All right, well, I'm almost out of time here, so let me respond to that. First of all, I just do political play-by-play. So if you think I'm being harsh on Trump, it's kind of what I talked about yesterday. There's like this new mindset of media consumption where it's like you're either pro-Trump or you're against us. It's like, no, I'm just reporting. I just read news and do political play-by-play. Obviously, I come from a right-wing angle, but so it's not about am I harsh on Trump or do I not support Trump enough or too much. It's just I'm just covering news. And then you say we need to highlight the scumbags of Congress and try to uplift other candidates. I think we do that. I mean, I can't commit 3 hours a day to that. But we do that. I mean, just yesterday I was talking about Sheldon Daniels and putting money in to defeat Jasmine Crockett instead of unseating Massey. And so, I mean, we do that as well. But look, I admitted it. Look, if you're looking for just 24/7 praise of Trump, then you can go to Fox News, okay? This isn't the Praise Trump show. This is the We Report on News show. We tell it like it is show. I voted Trump 3 times. I don't regret it. I think he's the greatest president of my lifetime. But I admitted earlier, I am a natural contrarian. I can't help it, and I like watching the federal government struggle. So I'm transparent about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our July 4th, 1776 super sale, we are offering buy one, get one free on all of our supplements. That's right. If you buy one bottle of the Shilajit gummies or one bottle of the Shilajit capsules, you get one bottle for free. And this applies to all of our supplements, but I wanted to mention the Shilajit particularly because it's been an incredible product for vitality. It helps with things like energy and stamina because Shilajit, CoQ10, and PQQ work together to supercharge your endurance and energy levels. Helps with things like muscle and recovery. Magnesium and boron help with muscle function and recovery, immune support, and detoxification. So please take advantage of this unprecedented July 4th, 1776 historic mega blowout super sale by going to the AlexJonesStore.com right now and purchasing a bottle of either the Shilajit gummies or the Shilajit capsules and getting another bottle of each for free. Not only is it incredible for you, but it keeps InfoWars on the air. So be the reason that we, this crew, these hosts, will always be on the air by going to the AlexJonesStore.com right now.
This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. This little piggy did all the way home. And this little piggy burned down the New World Order. Let me see your war face, Schumer. Let me see your war face, Obama. Let me see your war face. Because what you're seeing from Trump and what you're seeing from people all over the world is our war face. And it's not just the face. It reflects the internal eruption. So good luck. But I commit myself into the hands of God. And I pray on the altar of God that I be given the discernment and the will and the strength and the support to remove the chains from humanity. So let's never forget the business that we are about and the time in which we live. They want to break our will. Don't just survive and persevere and not let them break your will. Instead, take the weight of their assault and use it as a tool to strengthen every fiber of your psyche, your soul, and who you are. And pledge with me eternal resistance over every form of tyranny that has attacked the mind of man. And pledge, as he pledged 250 years ago, the great architect of our republic, Thomas Jefferson, I have sworn on the altar of God eternal resistance against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Make that pledge and feel the universe open up. Step into the space-time continuum and realize we're sharing that same moment with Thomas Jefferson now. There is no past, there is no present, there is no future. There is only one endless, timeless moment, and absorb the void. And you will be there staring back at God. The 2025 1776 mega sale is now live at theallshowstore.com. It's the biggest sale of the year. Buy one supplement already discounted, get another free. That goes for all the supplements. Same thing for all the Patriot apparel, t-shirts, ball caps, you name it. Buy one, get another free. All this and more at theallshowstore.com. And almost forgot, free shipping on orders above $99.
Trigger warning. This broadcast contains subject matter that might trigger liberal snowflakes. It's the War Room with Owen Schroyer.
Tom Homan reveals staggering drop in border crossings less than a single day under Joe Biden. Yeah, well, they were taking in thousands a day under Joe Biden. Now it's almost down to zero. It's such a big story. It's such a proof positive that the invasion was done intentionally as an act of war against this country. And it needs to be talked about more. A couple other headlines here. Supreme Court to rule on state bans on transgender students' participation in girls and women's sports. This is just clown world stuff. Ketanji Brown Jackson might have to sit this one out since she doesn't even know what a woman is. So she should probably just recuse herself from this case, but somehow I doubt that she will. I've got a feeling I know what she's going to have to say. Way too much. So, the Supreme Court is debating whether a boy and a girl should be competing in the same sporting events. That's just clown world stuff, man. Utter clown world. ICE, Buffalo, New York, removes illegal alien child sex predator to Guatemala. Another just horrific story. This is who Democrats want to keep in the country. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement removed illegally present Guatemalan national Alvaro de Jesus Martinez Juarez. That's a long name. From the United States to Guatemala. Martinez is a felon and a predator convicted of acting in a course of sexual conduct against a child. ICE will not tolerate criminal aliens preying on children in our communities. You know, the policy here, we will prioritize the pursuit of these vile predators and seek their prompt removal from the United States. I think we should actually handle this differently for the child predators. First of all, we need to ramp up the punishment for child predators, A. I mean, I'd say conservatively, whatever the current status quo for punishing child predators, conservatively, it needs to be double. Probably quadruple. If not a complete zero tolerance policy, which I would support that as well. I think with these child predators, I don't know if we should be deporting them. I think if you come into this country illegally, and if they did it in a foreign country, then fine, send them back. If you come into this country illegally and committed a sex act, a crime against a child, I think we should consider the death penalty. I think we should consider it. I don't think we should tolerate somebody coming into this country and sexually abusing a child. I think that should be zero tolerance. You say, well, what, you're saying we should tolerate when Americans do it? No, I'm not saying that too. I'm not saying that. I'm just, maybe they should all get death penalty. I'm just saying if they do harm to an American child, then they should suffer the justice of the American court system. And they should be locked up for a long, long time, if not the death penalty. We need to be way harsher on crimes against children. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the ones that get the big, so this case won't get big notoriety. You're not going to hear about this case in the national press, but like there's like this trend now. There's been like a dozen female teachers. It's kind of a weird thing, like good looking women, like these young 20-year-old teachers, and they sleep with like their 15, 16-year-old students. And it's just like, okay, well, there's the law and then there's justice. But you study this stuff and you realize you'll have like a 26-year-old teacher that sleeps with a 16-year-old student. I'm not endorsing that. Let's be perfectly clear here. I'm not endorsing that. But I mean, I think there's a pretty clear difference between a 16-year-old boy, with his teacher that's hot. And then that gets all the press, and that gets all the notoriety, and then that woman will get like 5 to 10 years. And then you'll have a story of a man, an illegal alien, whatever, sexually abuses a child, rapes a child. They'll get like 2 years, and they won't get a single one. It's really strange to me. So again, I'm not endorsing clearly. I'm just saying I don't understand why women are being treated worse in the press and worse in the judicial system than real, true child predators. That's just crazy.
Witness me.
But I see it every single time. Every single time you hear these stories, and they always get the most press. Oh, high school boy sleeps with the teacher. It's always young 20-year-old girl, pretty good looking. It's pretty strange. It's like, is that the state of men, or is that the state of male female relations now? I don't remember hearing much about this stuff before. But then it's like, oh wow, throw the book at her. She'll get years. She'll get all the press, and then you'll have like hardcore child abusers get no press, and then she'll have press. So that's just kind of a strange thing. Man indicted by federal grand jury for distributing face shields to agitators in Los Angeles anti-ICE riots. So they get this guy. He's going to suffer bigly. Now, excuse me for not believing that he's acting alone in his military fatigues. So I'm supposed to believe that this guy voluntarily spent hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands, branded high-quality face masks against whatever enforcement we're going to be using against them. Flashbang, smoke, whatever, tear gas. I'm supposed to believe he just voluntarily spent his own money on this stuff. We're not hearing about anything else. We're not hearing about people organizing and funding it, but they're going to take a victory lap because they caught the lone wolf actor who was distributing face masks. The Bionic Shield. I mean, I think these things are like $70 or $100 a pop. He's volunteering his money. But he's in trouble now. Immigration agents caught on video urinating at high school in Pico Rivera, El Rancho Unified School District says. It's deeply disturbing. You wonder how it went. They probably snuck off into the woods or like behind dumpsters, and they weren't trying to be seen, and then they got caught on camera, and they're making it like, oh, they just peed right in front of the kids. Oh, they just peed right in the parking lot. But no, they didn't. Now, should they have probably found the bathroom? Probably. But we don't know all the different circumstances that they were in. And you know what? Lucky for us guys, sometimes you can just go where you got to go. Kind of easy for us guys. It's like, what's next? Like, oh my gosh, yeah. Donald Trump's on the golf course caught peeing in the woods. Like, my God. Oh my gosh. That's the big scandal. Yeah, there it is. He goes behind big, looks like one of those portable dumpsters. It's like, what a crime. You're sitting there with a pervert, watching him on the camera like, ooh, I'm going to watch this ICE agent piss. Oh, I'm going to share it with the media. You're kind of the sick one there. So, yeah, probably should have had better judgment to take a leak in public in your uniform. But, hey, you know what? For us guys, sometimes you got to go. You can just do it right there. But, oh, that's the big scandal. They're out here attacking ICE agents, throwing bricks at them, throwing Molotov cocktails at them, trying to let people know where they're going to be so they can get attacked. Oh, no. The crime is that this guy went and took a leak. Good God, man. U.S. citizen seeks $1 million after arrest and detention for reporting immigration raid. And there's these other reports about them scooping up wrong people, which has been done a couple of times. But, you know, here's what they're not being fair about in these reports. Because of the treatment that ICE is getting from the mainstream media and from these left-wing terrorists, you know, they kind of have to operate in a fight or flight type of mode. So they're dealing in situations where they can't really take their time and sometimes maybe even do the due diligence, because it's like they got to get in and they got to get out because they got Democrat terrorists coming to firebomb them. Or they've got a group outside about to block the road, and it's like, hey, we got to wrap it up. So the Democrats caused this environment to be the case, and it's probably the reason why there have been some false arrests. And then this individual who's claiming that he was detained for being recorded, you'll probably find out he was doing something else, but nonetheless. So the left creates this environment of chaos. They create this environment of discomfort and survival even. And then, yeah, you know, when that's the case, sometimes mistakes can be made. It's harder to take your time and do the right job. And then they complain and they're like, my God, why didn't they do a better job? Well, I don't know, maybe it's because you had a mob formed outside threatening to burn them to the ground. I don't know, maybe. And then they keep seeing stories like this too. This blows their mind. California husband says he'll continue to support MAGA movement after wife taken into federal custody. He has an Iranian wife who's here illegally, I guess. He doesn't have her updated papers. Iranian, so they're targeting the Iranians right now. And so he was asked by the press, he has a Trump flag flying at his house. So they say, well, now that Trump has detained your Iranian wife, are you going to take your flag down? He says, nope, we're going to keep the flag up. Go, Trump, go. You know, maybe there's another element of this, too. A couple days off from the wife? I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, no, don't take my flag. No, please, don't detain her for 2 days. No. Oh. No, I'm being facetious. Relax. Everybody calm down. You know, we had a caller on this earlier. It looks like they may have dropped off. Gamblers raise alarm over $1.1 billion tax hike in Trump's bill. It's going to slash gambling net winnings and potentially charge income tax when they break even or lose money. I mean, whatever. I'm not a gambler, but I do think this is ridiculous. Professional gamblers are complaining about the measure next year and urge Republicans to change it. I don't think they did, by the way. Congressional scorekeepers have calculated it will net the government $1.1 billion through 2034. So they want to really hit the gamblers hard. And it's such a bigger industry now. So I figure they're just looking for more ways to increase tax income. Thank you. So Jay in Pennsylvania, I think this is what you want to do.
Yeah, it's weird. I like dropped it off there for some reason. I hear you saying that, but yeah, the game is crazy. You know, you get money to Israel or Ukraine, God knows what else, but you know, I can't take a couple hours on the weekend to clear my mind on a Sunday. You know, I pay attention to politics all through the week. You know, I like to. I'll even bet on a NASCAR race or something stupid. You know. I'm not making a lot of money off it. Even I probably might lose money, but it's something like past the time. So a lot of these people that are betting on games or stuff, you know, you're a sports guy. You come from the sports world, you know.
Yeah, well, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want with your money, and the government doesn't need to be involved in every transaction you make. That's what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, and they put well, that's why the bill is 900 pages and not. You know,
so it's like, what are you going to do if you go to Vegas for a weekend or something? Maybe you make a sports bet, or you hit on a slot machine or something, make $1,000 or a couple grand. Like, oh, I have to file with the government now. Just leave us alone, man. Just let me be.
Yeah, which is crazy also because Trump let the hotel, he has the casinos or whatever, you know.
Not to mention all the people that donate to his campaign that own casinos and want to build more.
Yeah, what was his name? The Wynn Casino. He got in trouble or whatever, which I thought, if I remember correctly, I don't think he should have been in trouble. I can't remember what happened with Wynn. Do you remember that?
No, I don't know the conclusion of that. It was from years ago. I'm sure we covered it.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say is, like, with taxes and the overtime, I've been working overtime, man. I've been looking at my check. Not to give too much of my personal information away, but it's like every time I get work, the more I work, it's just like green, you know?
Yeah. Obviously, I know why some douchebag in Congress did it. But they shouldn't have done that. They should have left that window open for people to find a way to pay their employees without them having all their money taken by the government. That would have been nice. Jay, thank you for the call. Let's go to TJ in New York. TJ, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Owen, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, good. All right, first off, before I talk about it, ultramethylene blue, love that, love it. It turns your piss green or blue or whatever, but it's great.
Come on, buddy, that's it.
Actually, I just posted about them on my page. There's like a list of bills that like are so America first, and this is like stuff that Trump campaigned on. If you go to @TheRealBusybody on X, I quoted a post from I forgot the cat's name, but it's on there. But yeah, and I know you covered my man Dexter Taylor before. For those of you that don't know his story, look him up. We're trying to get his appeal going here, and yeah, it's crazy what happened.
Well, yeah, they should release him on appeal, but they probably won't, just because of the nature of the charges.
Did you hear that? It's actually really sickening, man. You know,
Come on, buddy, let's dance!
in the trial, I don't know if you remember, but the judge actually said, you know, the Second Amendment doesn't exist here. This is New York.
No, it was crazy. It's insane what happens in these courtrooms, man. People wouldn't even believe it. They really wouldn't. We've seen it personally here. I've seen it multiple times, so it's insane. Now we have that account pulled up. TJ, thank you for the call. You know, I don't know whether it's like political pettiness or what. Why all of these great bills that come traction? They're all America first. They're all common sense. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. It's the only thing I could point to would be political pettiness. Because Thomas Massie is actually one of the good guys in Congress. Because Thomas Massie is probably the closest thing to purity, let's say, in politics. Because he's an actual principled conservative. We're going to blackball him, and whatever bills he passed, doesn't matter how good they are. We're just going to make sure they don't go anywhere. So I don't know. Maybe it's just political pettiness. But yeah, and a lot of these bills have been there for years. They've been sitting there, and they don't get any traction. I don't know how else to add that up. We also had a caller on this who also just dropped off, but here we go anyway. Why did Microsoft place 6,300 H-1B requests? Firm accused of rebooting workforce with a global upgrade. Well, upgrade is debatable. Why all the H-1B requests? Microsoft layoffs sparked strong reactions. Oh, what layoffs? Microsoft is laying off 9,000 employees in its latest round of cuts. So it's exactly what it sounds like, folks. Microsoft is firing Americans to bring in foreigners for cheap labor. That's what it is. And that's sad. Shame on Microsoft for doing that, but at the same time, from a capitalist perspective, the opportunity is there and they can increase their bottom line. I guess then they're going to do it. So fire Americans, bring in H-1Bs. Bad state of affairs. Hey, you know those